Hello, I'm Sri Banerjee, student for the Criminal Justice Program at Walden University. And in this segment, I'm going to be going over a criminal case that took place in January of 2021. For those of you that know historically that date, that is actually the date that the insurrection took place against the United States government. That's why I call this segment Social Media and Insurrectionism. Um, the person that was responsible here, that were only, I know there was a lot of people that was responsible for that. The one person that I want to focus on, and the reason for this I'm going to go into later, is Gracine Courtright. She was a capital insurrectionist that took place in January 6th, 2021. And again, this is the picture, and this is her Instagram poster, and this is precisely the picture that helped authorities apprehend her and identify her as Gracine Courtright. So here is the actual document where the court case is from. And this was actually, the name of it was United States of America versus Gracine Courtright. And I'm going to quickly go over this document. On or about January 6, 2021, in the District of Columbia, Gracine Dawn Courtright willfully and knowingly engaged in disorderly and disruptive conduct in any of the Capitol buildings with the intent, and I want to emphasize this, impede, disrupt, and disturb the orderly conduct of a session of Congress in either House of Congress, and the orderly conduct in that building of a hearing before or any deliberation of a committee of Congress or either House of Congress. So this was something, bottom line is, this was something that was alarming. She committed a crime with the knowledge that this would impede, disrupt, and disturb orderly conduct within government. What is my role in this case? I'm serving as the expert witness. The name of the trial is United States of America versus Gracine Courtright. And I'm taking the side of using social media to collect evidence of criminal wrongdoing as fair and legally reasonable. This evidence can be used against an individual in the court. And I'm going to give you reasons why this should be. Social media is everywhere, and nobody can deny that. This is a ubiquitous phenomenon, and so evidence being posted, this is a kind of being a norm rather than an exception. The nature of social media is such that many individuals share life events and potentially murder in a post. Let's go into the crime first, and then I'm gonna argue for the position that social media should be should be used for crime prosecution. As I stated earlier, Courtright participated in the deadly January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol. She was a former University of Kentucky student, Friday to 1 month in jail, and she was jailed for 1 month, and then given probation for a whole year. She was, at the time, she was a 23-year-old senior at the University of Kentucky, and she actually previously was living in West Virginia, where she came from. She entered the U.S. Capitol on January 6th as a supporter of former President Donald Trump, who was seeking to disrupt the certification of the 2020 presidential election. I've been through a lot of this already. I wanted to kind of emphasize and put this picture here. As you can see, Gracine Courtright is located here, carrying a members only sign, along with other insurrectionists. And she was apprehended on January 16th due to the social media post of a selfie in the storming of the Capitol. they found her guilty of multiple counts, and then when she was sentenced, actually, she was in tears, and that is in sharp contrast to some of the bold statements that she was doing in social media. So she was sentenced to a month in jail, and then 12 months of supervised release and a fine of $500. And when she was done, she said she's glad this was over with, and with more humility than she had in her social media posts. She actually made the statement, "Can't wait to tell my grandkids that I was here." She also said, "Infamy is just as good as fame. Either way, I end up more known." And so these were kind of the bold statements that she was making on social media. Let's take a look at one study that supports the use of social media in understanding real-time crime patterns. So this was based on Twitter data that was collected from accounts in 7 different locations in India, and the study took place in a span of 4 years, between January 2014 to November 2018 in India. The analyses demonstrated that the obtained results match with the real-time crime rate data, and this is very important because on a population level, this is demonstrating that there is a correlation and connection between crimes taking place and what is being reported in social media. These types of studies will help to detect, there's more studies needed, that will help to detect the connection between the real-time crime rate for different locations and detect the crime pattern easily. Now what I'm going to go into is taking a look at some of the researchers that are against using social media to convict people that commit crimes. And this was data that was collected in another international setting. So this was in Latin America, and this was collected over 2 months. Tweets were classified as being crime-related or not, and additional information is extracted, including the type of crime and, where possible, geolocation at a city level. From the analysis of collected data, it is established that around 15 out of every 1,000 tweets have text related to a crime or fear of crime. So even if this article is somewhat against, because they make the statement social media is shown not to be highly useful for detecting trends in crime itself, there's a lot of evidence here that recommends using social media as an important means to convict crimes. Let me go in and critique more of this article. Tweets are not necessarily the argument being made is that this is not necessarily a reflection of what is being consumed by the readers. Of course, I've given you counter arguments to that because you can see that how a lot of this evidence is floating around in social media because of so many posts reflecting real life. Now, there might be research on a population level that have contradictory conclusions. However, the anecdotal evidence points to something otherwise. I wanted to go over one of the crimes where there was a hit-and-run accident and the victim actually died after the incident. And they used social media to convict the person that had committed the hit-and-run. Some of the other places where social media was used to convict crimes is one where this individual was claiming all this insurance money from an injury that took place. However, upon further observation into social media posts, during or even before the crime, or even before the case, there were many posts where this individual, he was participating in competitions and whatnot. So that was used to, in a civil case where all of the claims were dropped, about injuries that took place. In another case, this was actually a murder case. This individual was so enraged that they murdered their friend. And this is a demonstration of how all of these cases resulted in something that was more useful than would have happened without the help of social media. Let me apply this case because to kind of wrap this up, I wanted to apply this to a theory that is out there in criminal justice, and that is the differential reinforcement theory. This was something that was created in the 1970s by Ronald Akers. And this helps us understand how social media not only can be used to convict crimes, this can also be used to influence people that are conducting crimes. And so individuals that have gotten information from social media, then the argument is they'll post other incidents where they have committed crimes. And so deviant behavior, if individuals read posts on deviant behavior, then through social learning, they're more likely to commit crimes. And then when they commit crimes, they're more likely to use social media to post things that are pertaining to the crime. Again, behavior is encouraged or discouraged. What are my concluding thoughts? The reason why I selected using social media to convict crimes is because there are many instances where application of social media is important. Again, being used in every walk of life. Alternative forms of news is coming through social media. So due to social media playing such an important role in people's lives, that's all the more important to use as a means to convict crimes. The seriousness of the crime that Gracine Courtright was involved in is that this was an attack against democracy, the foundations of this country. So social media was absolutely important in the conviction of Gracine Courtright. Many individuals were responsible for this crime, and so the sheer volume of individuals that they needed to convict made it necessary to go through social media to understand what the identity was of the individuals that were participant of the crime. And then due to the popularity of social media and the highly publicized heinous crimes, people were more likely to post elements of the crime in social media than others. So there was a notion of bravery that was tied into the crimes of January 6th, and that is kind of what led Courtright to commit these crimes and then subsequently post this in social media, almost bragging about the crime. These are the references that I used to go through my argument and make my expert witness argument. I hope this has made some sense. Thank you for listening.